Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And what are we talking about this time? Well, Nintendo had a direct and it had a lot of stuff to announce. So we're just going to go over the direct and just kind of go over what was announced at the direct and things like that. So let me go over this. It's kind of a long list, but we'll go over everything and then we'll just kind of break down, what we're excited for or, anything that just jumps out at us. So Pikmin 4 is set to release on July 21st, 2023. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, next wave of DLC was shown off. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe comes out this February, the 24th. And I believe a demo came out the day that the direct was showed off. That I believe the Kirby Return to Dreamland is a re-release or remake or something of a Kirby game from back in the day. I don't know. I'm not a huge Kirby fan, but yeah, if you are, that one's coming out. Samba de Amigo Party Central. So that's the Maraca game. So they got a new one of those coming out. Which those games are fun. There's kind of like Beat Saber, Just Dance types games, but you have the maracas. I don't know if they're going to come out with the maracas or you're just going to use the Joy-Cons to play it. So hopefully they come out with the maracas. That would be pretty cool. But I don't know. They might. Somebody will. They'll have like Joy-Con maracas. Fashion Dreamer. You can design and wear outfits of your custom character, walk around a 3D world and discover more outfit pieces and get new ideas. Joy. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. We've already seen that one before, but they just showed it off. It's coming to the Switch, coming out on 3/6/23. The Samba de Amigo and the Fashion Dreamer, those are just coming out later on this year. Tron Identity, also later on this year. Another game in the Tron verse. This one's a interactive visual novel in the Tron universe. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective Remastered. This was a remake of an original DS game. It's coming out later this summer. Dika Polisa. That's also later in this year. Takes place in virtual reality where you solve cases and uncover corruption. Turn-based battles as you capture criminals. The Bayonetta Origins, we did see that one. That one's coming out March 17th of this year. That's that Bayonetta, weird kind of Bayonetta type 3D platformer game. Not really interested in that. I like the original games, but this one is not really up my alley. Splatoon 3 expansion pass. So some more DLC for Splatoon 3. Disney Illusion Island, the platformer for up to 4 players. We could play as Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. The camera scene, it's I think it's a side-scrolling. I think it's a side-scroller, kind of like Castle of Illusion back in the day with Genesis. So those types of games, and I think it's basically following that because it does have the Illusion Island name in it. So I would assume it's kind of like the Mickey Mouse Illusion Castle, which those were fun on the Genesis back in the day. I really enjoyed those games. So I'm hoping that turns out to be pretty good. And it's 4 players, so hopefully online. That'd be cool. I don't know if it's local or if it's online. Of course, I'm sure you would have to have the Switch online feature, the $20 a year thing, or you might have to have their $50 a year one. I'm not sure. That comes out on July 28th. Fire Emblem Engage DLC. Wave 2 came out the day of the direct, which added new characters, and then they have Wave 3 and 4, which come out later. Harmony Fall of Revere. It's also a visual novel. It's a story about a corporation causing a negative rift between our world and another. So interesting. Octopath Traveler 2, that comes out this in February on the 24th. You can download the demo that came out the day of the direct. So I liked the first Octopath Traveler, so that's cool. They just showed it off there. I think that's coming to PlayStation and Switch. We Love Katamari. So that's coming out later this year. It's a Katamari game. I think this is a remaster of We Love Katamari. plus Royal Revere, which I don't know if Royal Revere that's a part of the Katamari. I don't know, not sure what Royal Revere is. Sea of Stars, that comes out on August 29th. That there is a demo out for it. That one looks that one's definitely something I'm looking forward to. That one's indie third party or indie RPG, kind of reminiscent of Chrono Trigger and those old like Super Nintendo RPGs back in the day. So it looks really cool. I haven't tried out the demo. I don't know if I will. I might just wait for August to play it. Omega Strikers multiplayer arena game. That one is a free to play game. Comes out on April 27th. Ethereum Odyssey Origins Collection. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Remaster of the first 3 games, those Odyssey games, comes out on 6/1/23 to June 1st. And this is, like I said, a remaster of those. I never played them. I know they're RPGs. It looks really cool. I just never played them back in the day. So probably something I'll look forward to checking out. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp comes out April 21st. That's Advance Wars, just a remake of those. Then they introduced the Game Boy games coming to the Switch Online, which came out that day. So they had Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, such as Tetris and Link's Awakening and Wario Land 3 for the Game Boy. And then for the Game Boy Advance, they had plus more. There was more than that. There's just a few to name off. And then for the Game Boy Advance, which also came out today or that day, Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, Mario Kart Super Circuit, WarioWare Incorporated, and some others. So if you have to have the, I believe you have to have the expansion pass account. So that's the $50 a year account, but you can go download those and play those games. Metroid Prime Remastered. So this was a shadow drop, came out. The digital version came out that day. It's a remastered version, excuse me, of the game. And supposedly the physical edition of that game is coming out this month, later on the 22nd. So that's awesome. World Detective Archives Raincode comes out July 30th. It's an anime-like detective game with ghosts. Baton Kratos 1 and 2 remasters. These are card battle games. Comes out later this year. Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Times. Comes out later this year. I'm not familiar with the Fantasy Life games. Professor Layton, World of Steam. Comes out later this year. Mario Kart 8, their new DLC. They've been bringing DLC out quite a bit. This is wave 4 of their DLC. Comes out during the spring of this year. They had Minecraft Legends, Blank, Mega Man Battle Network, which comes out later this year. Have a Nice Death, WBSCE Baseball, which was available today. I think it's like $1 or something like that. It's from Konami. It's some sort of baseball game. New Realm for Disney Dreamlight Valley, based on The Lion King. The Tales of Symphonia remaster. And then they showed off Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So it showed off the amiibo functionality, so the new amiibo, and some other stuff like a flying machine or something like that. So that was everything. That was everything in a nutshell. You know, that was part of the direct, a big direct, kind of showing off everything before they decide to put the Switch to rest. I don't know what they're doing, but there's a lot to be shown. There's a lot they showed off here. Really just kind of more of stuff coming out this year and not necessarily things for the future. Right? There is a lot of titles coming out this year that are coming to the Switch. A lot of those that I named off are coming to the PlayStation. A lot of the Japanese developers don't care for the Xbox, so you might as well just hang that up. Because Octopath Traveler 2 is not coming to the Xbox, even though the first one is on the Xbox. Now, granted, it did come out later to the Xbox, but why they wouldn't make the second one just come out on the Xbox day one, I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of good games out there. A lot of games in that list that I'm looking for, or some games in that list I'm looking forward to. But there's a lot of remasters. I've noticed a lot of remasters and remakes that they showed off too. So from that list, Pat, that was a big list. But what do you what do you think? What stood out to you? Anything stood out to you? Anything you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the physical copy of the Metroid Prime game. I want to get that. That Rain Code looked interesting, and so did the what was it, the Deca Police? Those two look kind of interesting, but I'm not sure I'm excited for those. I think some of the bigger news was the expansion of their online service of adding the two other handheld consoles. Unfortunately, it means you have to have the $50 a year subscription. But I mean, if you're interested in playing retro stuff, $50 a year, in my opinion, is probably a steal because of how many games you would go back to if that's what you're into. I am not that big of a retro. I don't go back and play a lot of old stuff. That's just me. Now, I didn't get to finish Metroid Prime back on the GameCube, so that's why I'm kind of interested in going back to this one and seeing what it looks like on the Switch, even though the Switch has let me down on what it looks like. I mean, everything on the Switch looks cartoony, right? It can't have too much. I mean, from what I saw, screenshot, it does look a lot better than it did on the GameCube, so that's why I'm interested in it, and I want to play through it and beat it this time and stuff like that. So, but yeah, on the Switch itself, there's not a whole lot that I'm just because. I would honestly get Octopath Traveler 2 on the PlayStation rather than the Switch, just because I know the performance is going to be there. It's not going to be that performance heavy game anyway. It's kind of like a retro 8-bit look to it, but it's actually really good quality game. So there's not a lot that I'm interested. I'm not the biggest Nintendo fan out there. I like some of their exclusive stuff, but I would much rather play on my PlayStation, my Xbox, or my PC than the Switch, just because in my opinion the Switch is dated. And anybody who knows how I review games and how I look at games, I'm big on graphics. Unfortunately, that's just what appeals to me visually, and has a lot of bearing on how I look at games and how I play games. So it's really hard for me to look at something like the Switch and go, yeah, this is going to be an awesome game, because all their games look like cartoonish anime, and I'm not talking like the best anime. I'm talking about the cartoony animes out there, and so it's hard to judge Switch games by that. So I have to look at the story and go, okay, is this only coming out on Switch? Because that's the only way I'm getting it on Switch, if it's only coming out there. So that's me. And a lot of this stuff announces coming out in other places like PC and PlayStation. So not a whole lot of stuff for the Xbox. There's a few things, but most of it's going to be PlayStation and then some more on PC. So it's hard for me to get excited for anything announced in there, except for the Metroid. So that's me. I'm just interested in the Metroid. And then, and if I could afford it at $50 for a year, I might try some of the retro stuff because I miss some of the stuff that's in there. But I would probably play it for an hour and be like, oh yeah, I can't get past the graphics, so I'm gonna put this one down. I just spent $50 for an hour's worth of gameplay, but that's just me. So,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm the same way. I don't buy things for the Switch if they're going to come to other platforms, right? If they're going to come to the Xbox or the PlayStation, I'll pick them up over there, not the Switch. So Switch is if it's coming out only for the Switch, I will pick it up there. If it's on anything else, I'm picking it up on the other thing. There are some in here that I am looking forward to, but again, like you said, they are games that are coming to at least the PlayStation, and and I can just pick them up on the PlayStation and play them there. I'm looking forward to Octopath Traveler, but that is coming for PlayStation, so I'll get that on PlayStation just the same. Sea of Stars, I'm looking forward to, but that is coming to PlayStation and PC, so I will pick it up on one of those two platforms. The Ethereum Odyssey Origins, those I believe are coming to PlayStation as well. So I'll just, I want to try those out. So I'll probably just pick it up on PlayStation. I did try out the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. I do have the $50 subscription, and because I do play a lot of the retro stuff on there, so I did try those out. I did play a few games on there, and it's cool. It's cool. I'll probably get on there at some point and try out some of the other games and maybe play through a few. But you're exactly right. Like if you're interested in those retro titles and stuff, the $50 is definitely worth it. If you're not, then it's not worth it. Right. The subscription in general is really not worth it unless you're playing online with the Switch. right? Or playing the retro games, because they really don't get anything else from it. I mean, you get some other stuff, but I don't know. I don't find the other things to be worthwhile. Metroid Prime Remastered, yeah. I'm waiting for the physical version to come out, which is supposed to be coming out later this month, and I'll be picking that up. I know you can get the digital version, but I don't buy digital for my Switch. And then Mega Man Battle Network Collection, definitely getting that, but that is also coming to PlayStation, so again, I won't be getting it for the Switch.
How many times have you bought the games that are in that collection?
None. None. I don't own those games.
Oh, you don't own any of those games? Any of them that are in the collection?
No, not those. Those are the Battle Network ones. Those were only for the handheld, for I think the DS and the Game Boy Advance, I want to say, or I can't remember what. But at that time, when those came out, I was younger at the time with the Game Boy Advance and stuff. So I didn't have the money to go out and buy these games at the time that they came out. It was just kind of like ask my parents for a game. And so I had to choose wisely as to what I got. Right. So I have played the Battle Network games before, just a little bit. But I don't own any of them. So
is that going on to the online collection that you spent the $50 for already? Or do you have to buy that collection?
That collection's just Capcom,
so would you buy it on the PlayStation rather than the Switch then? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's coming out for PlayStation and Switch. It's not coming to Xbox for some reason, because all the other collections are on Xbox, but for some reason this one's not. So I'll buy it for PlayStation, even though it's not really going to make a difference between the two. But I'd rather play it on the PlayStation than the Switch. That's the thing about me and the Switch is that I don't mind playing a game on Switch if it's only for the Switch, but if I have options, I'm not going to pick it up for the Switch. I don't enjoy playing on it as much as I do my PlayStation and my Xbox. I just really don't. Even though I have it in docked mode, and it's and I have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller that I play with, so it's just like playing with an Xbox controller because it's basically the same design. I don't know. It's just some weird feeling that I get when I play a Switch game. Like I just don't enjoy it as much as I do on Xbox and PlayStation. I lose interest quicker when I play them on there for some reason. I don't know why. It depends on the game though. Like if it's Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, I'm going to play that to completion more than likely. A Metroid Prime Remastered, I'll play that to completion, and some of the other games on there that I really want to play, but other games that we've gotten for the Switch, and I've got a ton of games, don't get me wrong. I have a whole crap load of them, but I just, if they're going to be on any other platform, I'd rather just play it on a different platform. So that's all there is to it. And you're right, a lot of these games are going to be on other platforms. So
yeah, unfortunately, I'm in the same boat. I have a Pro controller as well, but I just would prefer if it's going to be on anything else that I play it on anything else, even if that includes PC. So it's unfortunate, but I really feel kind of burnt by the Switch, especially after Bayonetta. That game was performance piss poor, in my opinion. And it could have been such a better game on something other than the Switch. So I'm a little burnt on the Switch, and I really, maybe with the new Zelda game being developed by Nintendo, it'll be better, but you're pigeonholing your development team into supporting something that you need to move on from. But
yeah, I agree. I think Bayonetta was a great game, but it would have looked so much better on the Xbox or the PlayStation, or PC, right? It just would have looked 10 times better and played better, right? You're exactly right. The Nintendo is long in the tooth at this point. It's beyond its time. And Nintendo needs to come out with something a little bit more advanced in their console development, because they have a lot of great games, and their internal department type games, the games published and developed internally by Nintendo, look great, but they're the only ones that can seem to make it look great and play well. Whereas everyone else, they can make, they try to do their best. Platinum with Bayonetta 3, you could tell they tried to push as much as they could into the Switch. And it's like, man, just put it on something else. Like put Bayonetta 3 on the PlayStation or the Xbox or both, or this PC or something. Like this game would just look, because it already tries to look great, and it looked good for the Switch, right? it looked good for the Switch, but it's like that's a low bar, right? It's like it looks good for a mobile game. It looks good if it could just go on to something else, you know. So yeah,
It looks good for a 10-year-old game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, damn, if it was just on something else. That's the only thing. I just wish Bayonetta and some of these other games we played, like Xenoblade Chronicles, I think that looks great. It looks great on the Switch. It just would look so much better, perform so much better on something else. Right.
Yeah. I wish Nintendo would get back into the major competition of consoles, but they won't. If they want to keep going the handheld route, I wish they would just split their divisions. Handheld division, console division, but they'll never go back to that. They've already proven to themselves that they can be successful with just the dual role item.
Yeah, they can be successful with the hybrid, and so they're going to stay with the hybrid. So our Switch 2 or the next Switch or the next Nintendo console that comes out is going to be basically the same thing. I mean, it's going to be a more advanced system. You know, it's probably going to have it's definitely going to have some different, you know, kinks and various things like that, but it's going to be the same concept. It's going to be the same docked and undocked type of situation.
The Nintendo Steam Deck.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, you can put a lot in these handhelds, right? I mean, Nintendo can, but again, they're going to be limited by, I feel like, by not having, a console that's just, because consoles, I mean, PC basically, but without having a PC, because that's basically all this the Xbox and the PlayStation are, is just PCs that are custom made, and so just have that. I guess the Switch is the same thing, but it's a tablet. That's the custom tablet, right? And just like create a custom box. Just get back into that. Yeah, split your divisions out. I'd rather have the handheld. I kind of, I miss the days of having the handheld Nintendo DS type system and then having the home console at home, right? I still have my DS and I enjoy my DS. I like that split, so, but they won't go back to that. We're just wishful thinking. But anyway, do you have anything else you want to talk about? All right. Well, that was all from the Nintendo Direct. Let us know down in the comments below what a part of the Direct got you excited, right? You might be a bigger Switch fan and you play a lot of your games on Switch, and there's nothing wrong with that. So what about those games are you looking most forward to? I know most people will probably say Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game, but there was others games showing off that looked pretty interesting. So let us know in the comments down below, what you're looking forward to. Other than that, thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Do us a favor, help us out, and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to check the bell notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. We'll see you next time.